We are divided on one paragraph that is simply unacceptable. And it is fundamental to the goals of this bill, which is to restore human dignity and freedom to victims and survivors of human trafficking. Restoring freedom involves giving those survivors choices over whether or not they will bear children as a result of that trafficking. Trafficking is fundamentally modern-day slavery. It is sex slavery and sex exploitation, which results all too often in pregnancy. We are told that the provision in question doesn't matter because it includes a rape exception. But it requires the survivor to request, to ask, to entreaty and supplicate to the state whether the rape was really rape, whether it is a pretense, or they must bear a rapist child. We're told the provision in question is essentially the same as the Hyde Amendment, but that is flatly untrue because the Hyde Amendment applies to taxpayer funds. There are no taxpayer funds in that $30 million that is taken from criminal fines and penalties. It is an entirely different source of funds. As a prosecutor, former prosecutor, I view those monies as restitution. They come from criminals, and they're used to try to support and serve the victims of that criminal activity. There's nothing more fundamental than using funds taken from criminals for the benefit of their victims. Congress has never before privileged the concerns of criminals over the rights of women, and we should not start now. I ask my colleagues now to give these women the real freedom from that sex slavery, liberate them truly from this heinous and horrific violation of basic human rights by guaranteeing them one of the basic human rights, which is the right to make choices about their own bodies, about their futures, about their hopes and dreams as they are liberated from this slavery. Let this chamber and my colleagues recognize the rights they have to truly be free from those who enslave them. I urge this body to strike the Hyde language from Senate 178 and to make good on its promise. And as co-chair of the bipartisan Senate caucus to end human trafficking, I agree completely that this cause ought to be bipartisan. It ought not to divide us along any partisan or party lines. I am proud to have worked with members on both sides of the aisle, and I hope that we can come to agreement now with my good friend and my excellent colleague, Senator Cornyn, and others who have worked so hard and who are so genuinely determined to solve this problem and to take a step. It's only a first step in the direction of combating human trafficking. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.